welcome to episode 6 of our third club in this ABC Journeyman. We're at Bashley, and it's been a tough old season so far after joining Bashley about halfway through. Financially, they are absolutely in turmoil. We've not been able to bring anybody in, but we have taken them out of the automatic relegation places and finished in the relegation playoffs, and we are going to be playing FC Bristol today in the hope of staying in this division. It's going to be a challenge though, considering what happened in the previous episode. Right, so if you haven't been keeping up with this save, well, where have you been? But let's have a look how the season finished. Not well. We had an excellent January, things are looking very good. It was a disappointing February, but not terrible. 2 draws and 2 losses, and then March and April have been just absolutely abysmal, and we just don't seem to be particularly good at the minute. As I said, we haven't really been able to bring anyone into the squad. We haven't really been able to get a tactic that's worked, and we seem to have a lot of injuries and suspensions despite not having get stuck in on our tactics. So it's been a real challenge, and it was just summed it up, this very last result here, trying to make sure that we went into this game full of confidence, played the under 18s and managed to lose that match somehow. So I don't know what to say about that. Neither of these folks are going to be playing in the match, but because of this game, Wooldridge has got himself injured, which isn't great. So we're having to play a right back who's 16. So great. Right, let's have a look at what's going to happen to us if we get sacked. We'll have a look at the what the board is saying, because they're not saying such a terrible thing. Let's have a look at this. So, avoid relegation from the Southern League Division 1 South, which is the league we're in. Apparently we've passed that. We haven't avoided relegation, but I think that it means avoid relegation, basically automatic relegation, and then attempt to avoid relegation from the the same league relegation playoffs. So that's what we're going to try and do today, but it's only attempt. If we don't manage it, does it really matter? In terms of the supporters, they're saying avoid relegation from Southern League Division 1. I don't know whether that refers to actual relegation or what the board was saying, but it gives me hope that this is not an automatic sacking, because I'd love to have a transfer window where we can just clear out everybody and just start again, because that's kind of what this place needs. There's people paid far too much money who aren't doing enough, and there's people here who shouldn't actually have a contract, and there's only like 2 or 3 players who I think are good enough but don't want to stay. So it's a bit of a challenge to get to grips with all of that. Anyway, folks, I think it's time to play a game of football. I've been putting this off, as you can probably tell, but let's do it. Team we are going with, and as I said, we are missing Wooldridge, Field and Davis both suspended. Field is a bit of a loss, and the back line is going to be a bit of a risk. But formation, you'll notice, has changed ever so slightly. We've pulled the wingers back in the hope to make us a little bit more solid, but also still give us that threat going forward. So we have Nicolau and Richard Noel up top. I've decided to go with Richard Noel. He scored in the last game, so we'll give him a chance. Gleeson is the man who is hopefully going to give us that creative spark. He is basically everything we've got. We desperately need him to play well. So Gleeson's there. Kearney is behind him because we are missing Guest and Fields. So Kearney is a 15-year-old Irish lad who he looks all right. He's not big. Well, he's actually quite big, but he's not very good at heading it. But he's got things going for him. So we're going to give him a game in the biggest ever game he's ever going to play, probably. In between Monk and KMB, who are in that slightly backwards roll from where they were before. And the back line, Arnold is carrying on the left side. Taylor and Dida are going to be our centre backs, and Smith is the right back, and he is a 16-year-old. And that's what we've got. He can tackle, and his marking is okay. He's not fast, so I don't know why we've got him in a full-back on attack. I think we'll just put him on support there. I think what we should do here is have Kiembe as that. There we go. Arnold, a wing back on attack. That feels like a better setup, and hopefully they can do something between them. But fingers crossed we can pull a miracle out, because even though they're a division below, the level we're playing at isn't even in the top 10 tiers in English football. It's abysmal. Oh God, here we go. So we did have a team talk just before the players went out a couple of days ago, and it did go well. So that improved things a little bit morale-wise. And here we come against Bristol. First opportunity looks like it's to Bristol, although we've managed to hold that. Nice ball into Monk. Gleeson's got it, and that's the man we want to have it. He knows how to play a through ball. Damn it. But we still got it. Kiembe. Oh, imagine if he could have a good game. Here's Richard Noah. Nicolau. Arnold's already injured. Ball in. Richard Noel, and we lose it. All the players, just one player up, and he manages to... I mean, that sums everything up, really, for me. Ball over the top, shot from distance, that's fine. But the fact that he got that ball there, the attacker got the ball and not the defenders, is a real concern. Here's Arnold at the minute. We have got a left back on the bench, so that's not the end of the world if he has to come off. I mean, do I trust him? Not really. Monk, look at the overlap from Arnold there. That's just amazing. And we're losing the header again. I don't think Richard Noel knows how to head a ball, but we're getting the ball, but it's not great, is it? Here's Dida into Hollard. Good. Taylor, up he goes. And Nicolau has got it there. It's a beautiful ball. Richard Noel, please. Oh, he's hit. Oh, what a dreadful finish. That was such a chance. We're not going to get many of those. You need to score those, mate. Oh, God. Salah? No. What are you doing with that ball? Kiembe clears it, but doesn't quite get anywhere with that. Kiembe's got it again. What are we going to see here? He's gone through everyone. He's bulldozed his way through at like 5'2". Ball in. We don't get that, but Arnold... I thought he was coming on this left side now. I mean, that's what I like to see, and the fact we didn't get anything out of it is vaguely disappointing. But we are doing all right. This is much, much better. Ball over the top. Nicolau is really all we've got. Oh, it's Richard Noel. He comes through to him, and he just plays it to the goalkeeper again. 2 glorious chances so far. It's pleasing to see that we are creating chances, though. Dida up the pitch. Gleeson's got it. It's him. It's third time lucky. Yes. There it is. Oh, God almighty. We have huffed and puffed and created some wonderful chances, and we have got ourselves a goal there. Richard Noel doesn't win the header, but Gleeson picks the ball up, and Nicolau with the through ball, and his little chip over the outstretched foot. And it's a good finish. We're playing all right. So, half time. Shock horror. We're 1-0 up, and we look good value for it. Well, I don't even know what this feels like anymore, but here we are. Half time, 1-0 up. Don't do this to me. Don't throw this away. What's the situation with him? Foot injury. He doesn't need a foot to play football. That's been my experience. Right, come on. That's a lovely ball over. Oh, good God. And that's how we defend there. Oh. After the first half, you get me all excited, and this is what you do to me. Fenwick, look at this. No risk at all. Now, that's poor defending there, but there's no way he should be getting through there. I mean, it's the right back, and it just comes straight back to Hutchinson, and goal in it goes. Need just more of what we did in the first half. It's fine. Dida chips it forward. Kearney does well. Ooh, what's that? What's he going to do there? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, I thought maybe it was going somewhere, but here we go. Right, Dynan chips it back. We go the other way. The other way. Good God. It's quality football. I mean, I don't think he's good enough to have a double-barreled name, that goalkeeper. This guy certainly isn't. Kayembe. Right, through ball. Richard Noel. He scored 2. It's when I abuse him he plays well. He's some sort of sadist, isn't he? You know what his dungeon looks like back at home, undoubtedly. It's got all the whips and chains in there. God, right. It's taken a dark turn all of a sudden. Richard Noel, 2 goals. Wow. I don't think he knows what 2 goals look like. Right. Arnold's still on the pitch with his bound up foot, taking a throw in. Keeley. And, well, Nicolau, although he's done very little, I actually think his performance has been probably the better of the two. He just hasn't been in the right place at the right time. A lovely through ball potentially, not quite. But here comes Monk. It's Nicolau. He doesn't miss these. Apparently he does. Right, 79 minutes on the clock, and we've been good. Very nice. Nicolau does well. 2 players. Look at the overlap here. Arnold, they're basically on top of each other. Trips over the ball several times, and all of a sudden, Poskett loses it. Oh, dear me. I mean, playing like that, do you really deserve to get promoted? I think that's going to be offside because of Nicolau trying to touch the ball. Is he? It looked like he was. I thought if he'd have left it, well, you'd definitely be. I think it's allowed. It's 3-1. My God. Look at this. Kearney. It's Nicolau tries to maybe just missed it completely. And Gleeson puts it past the goalkeeper. We're 3-1 up, folks. I don't know what to make of it. Right, 85 minutes on the clock. We are going to take Henry Arnold off finally. And on comes Jorge O'Regan Ardley, the most exotic man in football. 85 minutes on the clock, and he's going to carry on playing as an overlapping fullback. Here's Nicolau. Here's Monk. Have I just broken the FM game with this formation? And Richard Noel. How many chances do you need, mate? At least one more, as always. Kearney is looking shattered, but what a performance you've shown. Guest is coming on. He's slightly injured, but it's fine. And we'll have another substitution later on. Maybe Mark Thomas coming on. Here we go. Mark Thomas replacing Richard Noel so he can't get his hat trick. And we've done it. We have done it, folks. Unbelievably, we have staved off the risk of relegation. We've beaten Bristol, and we put in what has to be one of our best performances of the season since I've been there. Apart from that other one that you saw, that was very, very good. 2.26 XG. Most of that was Richard Noel just passing the ball back to the goalkeeper. But yeah, how good is that? How good is that? You have little faith in the comments saying that you're worrying about us actually managing to win this. Well, there we go. We put together a performance that is slightly worthy of I was going to say this great football club's name, but I don't know whether it is. Anyway, folks, let's say nice things to the players. Outstretched arms. The sound you hear is everyone who wrote us off backtracking. What a performance. Yes, I like that one. That's a strange thing to say, but yes. What a performance. So we get 10 grand. Well, that's going to do a lot for our 250 grand debt. Look at this. Smith makes professional debut. Not going to forget that, is he? Wow. Player of the performance from Nicolau. And the question is, I've got 200 quid to be shared amongst the squad and backroom staff. So, I mean, considering, I'm in the squad and backroom staff, that's be about 20. So it's a tenner each. So basically, I got a trip to Greg's each. Wow, we are generous. Right then, what the heck do we do with this squad now? Players that we've got here next year. Lee Kearney is here next year. He looked all right in that game. I hope you'll agree. Mark Thomas, he's here next year. I think that's it. Oh, Dominic Smith, of course, because he's one of the youth teamers. Well, you know, with a performance like that, we'll happily have him in the squad next year. But obviously, we need to fill out this bit. My thoughts are potentially trying to get Alex Gleeson back and Nicolau back on loan. I think both of those have proved that they're decent players. Whether Gleeson will want to, because we kept playing him out of position, is another thing. But I think the rest, if we can keep Monk, Monk's going. If we can keep Kiambi and Henry Arnold without having to pay them, we will do that. But I doubt that's going to be the case. Anyway, folks, let me know what you thought about that. Hopefully you enjoyed that episode. If you did, well, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and make sure you come back for the next episode for our next season at surprisingly the 8th tier level of football. Ignore our finances as they just fall down a cliff. There's nothing really I can do about this at the minute, because we're short of completely gutting the team, which is essentially what we're doing. But we have a very strict wage budget next time. I mean, we've got committed spending. How have we got a committed spend for next season of over the wage budget already when the entire squad is leaving? That's interesting. Anyway, folks, on that bombshell, I will see you next time. Goodbye.